The LEGO Jazz Club, a set that is projected to leave later this year and has dealt with some fan disappointment and some excitement, with Lord Business's review titled here, okay. Building is okay, I have all the modular buildings, and this is just okay. 4 stars. And then we've got Lego Builder 007 007. We might have just bumped into the James Bond of Lego. Now, their review title is a classic. I wait every year for the announcement of the next design. This year, I was not disappointed by LEGO's Jazz Club. 5 stars. Now, talking ranking on this set. Emmasaurus previously ranked the Jazz Club back in 2023 all the way at number 2 on her list. Shy Time just put up an amazing video showing the Jazz Club at the number 8 spot, and then Brick Fanatics put the Jazz Club at number 12. I'm not going to rank this modular myself since I haven't built every single modular that has come out up to this point, but I am going to give it a grade out of 100, drop it into one of these categories, that way you know whether I think this is something you should pick up before it's gone for good. The set includes 8 total minifigures, which is actually towards the top range for a LEGO modular set. First, here is the bass player, which is probably my favorite. The brick-built case on his back is pretty cool. We get the club owner over here, and she is relatively plain. Next is the drummer, and I have to say that vest is pretty sweet. Then we come to the jazz singer with her big black gown with silver and gold accents. She is the most expensive minifigure according to Bricklink, although still not very high a price tag for a minifigure. The pizza chef here is the one servicing the pizzeria on the lower level, along with this pizza delivery driver and his scooter. There's a magician here that has a few accessories, and she also has a rabbit, which I somehow misplaced her in the build. And then lastly, we get the tailor over here, which is also nothing super special. Now, as you probably already noticed, all these minifigures come in the traditional yellow skin tone. That is the color of the traditional minifigure, and that LEGO has kind of kept going for all the LEGO modulars. Now, there have been some grumblings about why not add some African-American skin tones into a set like this, which would have actually been perfect given the heavy influence of the African-American culture on jazz. And to be frank, I actually tend to agree with this. I live just a couple hours away from New Orleans, and there is a heavy jazz influence in New Orleans, obviously. I understand the thought behind keeping the traditional yellow skin tone, but this would have been a cool set to kind of pioneer a new trend in my mind. It would have been amazing to get a Louis Armstrong minifigure with his trumpet in this set, or even a Charlie Parker with his saxophone. Mary Lou Williams next to a piano would have been cool as well. I think adding minifigures like this would have added a lot of depth to the storyline with the set, a lot of life to the set itself, so it is very disappointing that they decided not to do this. Overall, I like the minifigures. They fit the set, but nothing overly special here, so max grade out of 20 on the minifigures. I'm going to go ahead and put them at a 10 out of 20. So the Jazz Club is the 6th largest modular out of all 20 with 2,899 pieces. Starting with the exterior, I really do like the colors of the actual Jazz Club here, but I'm not as much of a fan of the colors of the exterior on the pizzeria and the tailor shop. All the signage on the exterior here is printed and looks really nice. Once you make it through the ticket counter, you walk inside and experience all the magic of a 19th century jazz club, complete with seating and full stage with instruments for the band. If you need to go to the bathroom while you're listening to music, you can squeeze yourself into the small closet under the stairwell here. Excellent use of space in this club. Now, if you get hungry, you're going to head over to the attached pizzeria, where you can be assured that all your pizza will be cooked for optimal taste in the brick oven. If extra wood is needed for the brick oven, you'll find that right behind the building. Heading upstairs through this door on the exterior, you're going to run into 3 doors in the hallway. The one to the left is going to take you into the club owner's office, where she gets a view of the bands from the top balcony. The middle door here takes you to get a breath of fresh air on the outside. That way you can get away from all that smoke. And then finally, the door to the right takes you to the tailor shop. The brick-built sewing machine here is really epic, along with these spools of different color cloth. We go up the final flight of stairs to the 3rd floor, and we find a couple more doors. To the left of this hallway, we find the prep room for the performers, along with some bougie furniture. Is bougie actually a word? And you're going to find some really nice blues artwork up here on the wall, which, fun fact, was actually purchased from the art gallery at the Boutique Hotel. And that set is also projected to retire at the end of 2025. I also need to mention how cool this mirror with lights is, as well as make mention of the awesome stained glass windows in a lot of these different rooms. Now, the roof on the main Jazz Club is nothing super fancy, except for this cute squirrel, of course, but the walkout room area over the tailor shop, now that's something special. Now, I'm not sure how accurate it is for a building like this back then to actually have a greenhouse on top, but nonetheless, I like it. And then this is where the pizza oven downstairs actually vents out, in case you were wondering. But you probably weren't. I really enjoyed the build, and there was a lot of cool rooms and businesses to kind of build along the way, and that is the nice thing about modulars. It keeps it very fresh while you're building the set. Was it my favorite modular that I have built up to this point? No, but I did really enjoy the set, and the change of pace with the Jazz Club, which is one of the more unique modulars I'd say that we've had up to this point, was really nice. So with a max grade of 40 on the build experience, I'm gonna put this one at 31 out of 40. So on display, most modulars make for great display pieces, and this one is no different in my mind. It fits together really nicely with many of the other modular buildings, especially if you have a city or just a long modular street display. I think the colors for the most part look great on this, and the signage also looks really great as well, so I am a big fan of the look of this model. The build doesn't have much going for it in the way of actual play functions outside of just the ability to play with the stage and the minifigures, as well as lift off the different floors for access. There is a lot of references throughout the build, which is nice, that kind of tie this modular back to the previous modulars. So the references are cool to find, but not necessarily a functionality. I'm going to put the display at 8. I'm going to put the play functions at 6, and that's going to put us at 14 out of 20 on this category. So the price per piece is solid on this set at just shy of 8 cents per piece, although that is actually more expensive than the last 5 modulars that have been released. The minifigures are nice, but no major value here, and I already specified what I would have liked to have seen with these minifigures. Part out value is over $450 as of this recording, so that's pretty close to double the retail, so pretty good there. All around, I would say the value is solid on this set, like with most modulars, so I am going to put the overall value on this one at 16 out of 20. Here are the final grades in the different categories for the Jazz Club, and that will put the final grade on the set at 71 out of 100. This set just barely makes it into the consider buying this set category. It's definitely not a must buy for me, but I am glad it made it into this category because I do think you should consider buying this set for your collection before it retires. Not to mention, modulars typically jump in price quite a bit after they retire, so if you want this one, find a good price on it before it retires at the end of the year.